What down, YouTube? Welcome back to Logic's Lens Game, and today we're gonna look through the lens of this big controversy, beef, whatever the hell you want to call it, between God of War and Elden Ring. Before we get into the details of why I think Elden Ring won God of the War, why Elden Ring Game of the Year, God damn it, Elden Ring won Game of the Year, I'm gonna preface this video with three things. One, the Game Awards do not matter whatsoever. Stop acting like this shit is a big deal or as if it means something. It means absolutely nothing. Two, I've never played either one of these games. Three, I really don't give a fuck. Y'all gonna get this Horizon Forbidden Forgotten West footage in the background because I know everybody don't really care about Horizon, but I do. It's a decent game, you feel me? So just check it out in the background. It's all good. You'll live. So I will say that I've honestly been a God of War fan since the PS3, PS2 days. I'm a big God of War fan. Just haven't gotten around to playing this new one yet. You guys know me, $70. I just haven't played it yet. I plan to. I also still plan to play Elden Ring. Both of them seem like quality games that I'm definitely going to get my hands on at some point in time. With that being said, me only really playing God of War, and I've never played any Souls game, to be 100 with you. I've never played any of them. I'm not the big, overly challenging video game guy. That's just not my cup of tea. But this one did spark my interest. So with that being said, I think that the challenge in the game was a big aspect for a lot of people. Like, I know that y'all know me, I'm the big single player linear adventure action game type person. There's a lot of people that prefer to have their games challenge them to the utmost. I can't be mad at it. People play these games. Some people just want to do it to mindlessly play games. Some people like to excel and get good. So I don't see the problem with people wanting a game that's like giving them no other option but to challenge them. I think that's a fair thing to implement, and especially when you implement it well. We're not talking about challenging to where you feel like you're being cheated or you have to, rage quit every 10 seconds or whatever. It's just like, you're going to get some roadblocks thrown in front of you and you got to figure out how to dodge them motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's pretty fair, and that's something that we don't get often in video games. FromSoft has kind of mastered that, and I think that people really love that from them, so they gravitated towards the game. And with those people gravitating towards the game, they have their niche. I think that Souls games are a niche, but Elden Ring kind of broke that barrier, I think. I think there's a lot of people that never really played the Bloodborns and the Dark Souls and the Demon Souls, and they kind of broke down all of that with Elden Ring. Not to say it's like the easiest barrier to entry, but I guess the hype and the people just constantly hearing it piqued a lot of people's interest, so they ran out and got it. And overall, I think it worked. And now I bet you the next game they make, everybody gonna have their eyes on it. The next thing I think that we should compare the two games are the gameplay. Like I said, I played God of War, and we got to keep it a thou wow. Like anybody that loves God of War, I don't care. Like, you're objective. If you're objective about the situation, the gameplay overall is the same as the last game. It's not. They didn't reinvent the wheel for the most part. And like I said on the last episode of Say the Game podcast, I feel like they kind of slapped the same game into a new story with a few new mechanics, which of course we can appreciate. It's nothing wrong with that, but keep it a stack. If God of War 2018 won already, do come back 2022, you virtually got the same mechanics in the game. You didn't really add nothing new to make it feel like a completely new experience than the last one you got. I think that kind of knocked you down a few notches. You know what I'm saying? And of course, that is not to say it's not good. It's just that if you're going to compare the gameplay mechanics of God of War Ragnarok to Elden Ring, which is far more technical, which is far more deep, which is far more it gives you a lot more freedom. It's a lot of experimenting. It's a lot of, you can make the different builds. God of War is everybody's going to end up in the same thing, and I think that's another thing that plays into Game of the Year. Replayability. I'm not saying the game has to have replayability to qualify for a Game of the Year, but I think that's just another notch on the belt for FromSoft. You can make different builds to get different endings. It's a multiplayer, even though that's not the focal point of the game is the multiplayer aspect. It's there to use, and it works, and it's fun. I think that it's just so much more going into the video game that makes it a great video game. I've seen a lot of arguments on, oh, Elden Ring doesn't have a story. It doesn't need a story. You know, like a game, you don't, every video game isn't meant to be played to have a great story. And just because it lacks in that compared to another game, that does not disqualify it for being game of the year. It just means this game had a better story. And that's still objective, because if you give a fuck, you're going to explore the lore in Elden Ring, because it's not spoon-fed to you. And there are people that like that. Me, if I play Elden Ring, you could damn sure I'm not going to care about the story. And I'm saying that right now. You could quote me. I'm gonna play it, and I wanna get into the game and play it and see how it feels. Get into all the different builds and the boss fights and everything, and see how creative I could get with things. But I don't give a fuck about the story. And just because you don't doesn't mean it's a bad game. But what I will say at the end of all of this shit, like no matter if God of War won, if Stray had won, or since Elden Ring won, I think that all of these publishers and developers need to recognize that some of the greatest games are single player games. Now, don't crucify me for saying that, all my multiplayer lovers. It's not to say that those games aren't good, but I think that we really have gotten so far gone. Damn, I hope y'all didn't hear that. So far gone from making honest quality games that work right out the gate. You know what I'm saying? It's just so, I don't understand why money, first of all, the gaming industry is making more money than they've ever made in so many ways. They done cut cost in so many ways and increased profits in so many ways. Yet we're still getting games released that don't work day one. That's just completely unacceptable. Like, people like to bag on me for not wanting to pay $70 for games, but y'all charging us more money to give us a lesser product, and it makes absolutely no sense. But I just want all these people to realize that there's a lot of games that get made that have the potential to even be in the running for game of the year, but you squander it because you want to infest it with microtransactions, make it come out half broken, make it work on some platforms and some not. Charge $70 and call it next gen, even though it's last gen performing. All this bullshit just compiles, and it just makes you realize, like, the games that actually do win game of the year, that actually are nominated for game of the year, they're all games that 9 times out of 10 every time they come out, they work, they're honest games, and they just want you to enjoy it. And I think that we've gotten so far away from that. Like, all the Sony ponies, like, y'all gotta fucking chill, bro. Like, God of War is a great game, enjoy it. Elden Ring won game of the year, nothing's gonna happen. They're not gonna get any, like, extra free DLC. I don't even know what the fuck is hurting y'all for this game winning. Just keep playing God of War, or fucking try Elden Ring. You might like it, bitch. You know what I'm saying? So just keep that in mind. That's my opinion. So we could talk about it more in the comments, you feel me? If you like my content, make sure you subscribe, leave a like while you walking out the door, and I'll catch y'all in the next video. Peace.